I owe my life to George Bailey. Help him, dear father.
Joseph, Jesus, Mary. Help him, my friend, Mr. Bailey.
Help my son George tonight.
He never thinks of himself. God, that's why he's in trouble.
George is a good guy. Please help him, God.
I love him, dear Lord. Watch over him tonight.
Please, God, something's the matter with Daddy.
Please bring Daddy back.
Hello, Joseph. Trouble?
Looks like we'll have to send someone down. A lot of people asking for help for a man named George Bailey.
George Bailey. Yes, tonight's his crucial night. We must send someone down immediately. Whose turn is it?
That's why I came to see you, sir. It's that clockmaker's turn again.
Oh, Clarence. Hasn't gotten his wings yet, has he? We passed him up right along.
Because, you know, sir, he's got the IQ of a rabbit.
Yes, but he's got the faith of a child. Simple. Joseph, simple, Clarence.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Oh, is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
No, his life? That means I only have a few hours to dress. What are they wearing now? Sir, if I may accomplish this mission, do you think I may get my wings? I mean, I've been waiting for over 200 years now, and people are starting to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
You do a good job with George Bailey, and you'll get your wings.
Thank you, sir, thank you.
Poor George. Keep your eyes open. See the town?
I can't see anything.
Oh, I forgot. You haven't gotten your wings yet. Here, I'll help you out. Concentrate. Begin to see something?
Why, this is amazing.
When you get your wings, you'll be able to do this too.
Who's that? Is that little George Bailey all grown up?
Yes, that's George Bailey. He's your assignment.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Wouldn't do what?
What you were thinking of doing.
How would you know what I was thinking?
We make it our business to know a lot of things.
Look, but if you're telling I'm not interested, please, just leave me alone.
No, you don't understand. I have a job to do here.
I said leave me alone.
This isn't going very well. But you said this was going to be easy. But he won't listen. I know. If at first you don't succeed, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever read Tom Sawyer?
What?
Now, there was this industrious young man, and when the chips were down, he never gave up. Do you remember why?
Who cares?
Because he kept thinking about others, George. Not about himself, but about all the folks who needed him.
Hey, you called me George. How do you know my name?
I know everything about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
How could you? I've never seen you before.
You haven't needed to till now. How's the lip? Looks like it healed.
That's the answer I got to a prayer a little bit ago.
No, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
Who are you?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Well, what's that, AS2?
Angel, second class.
Now I know I lost my mind.
Not yet, but you were well on your way. Besides, it's ridiculous to think of killing yourself for a measly $8,000?
How'd you know that?
I've been trying to tell you, George. I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look like the kind of angel I'd get. I'll give you that much. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won them yet, and that's why I'm here. And besides, you're going to help me with that.
I am. How?
By letting me help you.
The only way you can help me is to give me $8,000 before the clock strikes 12. After that, my life turns into a pumpkin.
Well, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. Well, down here it sure comes in handy. The truth be known, I'm worth a lot more dead than alive.
Now look, you mustn't say that. You don't realize how much you're worth. And besides, if it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, everybody I know would be a lot better off. Everybody. My wife, my kids, my friends.
You sure got a lot of friends. I'll say that for you. Why? Do you know that they've jammed up our airwaves for over an hour now?
What are you talking about?
Prayers. When they're heartfelt, they're mighty, powerful missiles. And the ones for you, George? Why? They've lit up our whole celestial system.
Why? How?
Because you're such an important influence on so many lives, George.
Since when?
Ever since you saved your brother from drowning in the lake, and you got the infection in your ear and lost your hearing there.
That was instinct. And besides, I was only 12.
There were other boys that day, George. Some of them older and better swimmers. They didn't nod to their instincts, only you did.
He was my brother.
But what about Mr. Gower? When you saved him from ruin, that wasn't instinct. That was courage. Deep-seated, rats full of guts courage.
But he had just received a telegram telling him his son had died.
And he had turned mean through and through by drowning his sorrows in a bottle.
George! You out there, George? I'm sorry, Mrs. Blake. The box of medicine should have been over an hour ago. It'll be over in 15 minutes, I promise. Why didn't you deliver Mrs. Blake's box of capsules?
I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't? What tricks are you playing at, young man? Don't you know the Blake's boy is very sick?
You're hurting my sore ear, Mr. Gower.
Please, look her!
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules.
What do you mean?
I know you're upset. You got that telegram today and it upset you. But you did put something wrong in those capsules. I'm sure you did.
How do you mean?
Just look and see what you did. Look at the bottle you took the powder from. It's not right. I swear it isn't. It's poison, I tell you, poison. And we need to go back and... Please don't hurt my ear again!
No!
It's okay, Mr. Garland. You never tell a soul, hope to die alone.
George, I'm so sorry, George.
And you never did. Not to this day.
Well, that's remarkable. He's always cared about young people. He gave lots of us our first job.
He never forgot about you, George. That's for sure. Remember that handsome suitcase you got me when you finally thought you were going to college?
That was 1,000 years ago.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
May you always use it in good health, George.
How can I thank you, Mr. Gower?
Graduating with honors. It makes us all very proud.
Fat chance.
Oh, although you a bet, little brother.
Haven't got time. I'm off to my dance. How do I look?
Like a coon in a bathing suit. Come on, where's the funeral?
That's enough, you two. You look very nice, Harry.
Oh, well, of course he does. It's my suit.
And what's your verdict on Tilly? Do I look good enough to eat?
If you lay a hand on me, young man, I will hit you with this purse.
Aunt Tilly, I'm in love with you, and there's a full moon out tonight.
Harry, that's enough.
Hey, Mom. I gotta borrow the car. I have lots of plates and stuff to take over.
Whose plates?
I'm chairman of the Eats Committee, Mom, and we're short a couple dozen plates.
Oh, no, you don't, Harry. Not my fine china. That's your grandmother's and her mother's before that. Are you listening to me?
We're all going to miss you, George.
Thank you, Violet.
Say, that is some dress you got on there.
This little thing. I only wear this and I don't care what I look like.
Well, it sure looks pretty. Doesn't it, George?
What? Oh, yes, the dress. Well, sure, it's real nice, Violet.
Well, I guess I better be going. The dance starts in another half an hour. Why don't you drop by later on?
I just might do that.
Hope you. Goodbye now.
All you are gonna walk down to school?
That won't be necessary. Take care, George.
Yeah, you too, Violet.
Well, come on, Ernie. See you around, George.
Say, Uncle Billy, where's Pop?
Well, he has to finish up the special report for the popular board meetings tomorrow.
Oh, the Pop put him on the board of directors to see his up on us today. See that boy grab a buzzer anyway.
He's a sick man, George, sick in his mind, sick in his soul. If he has one. It's everyone who has anything he can't have. He hates us mostly, I'm afraid.
Hey, George. Would you consider coming back to the building alone with us?
Not me, Uncle Billy. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office. I'm sorry, but the thought of spending my whole life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe? No, I go crazy. I want to do something big, something important.
Well, your dad and I feel that we are doing something important. It's deep in a man's soul to want to own his own house and his own roof and a fireplace to sit beside him. And we like to feel that we are helping him get those things.
I wish I felt. Well, but I've been hoarding pennies like a miser in order to. Most of my friends have already finished college. I just feel like if I don't get away, I bust.
Now, Bill, you've got to admit this town is no place for any man unless he's willing to crawl to Potter. Now you've got talent, George. We've all seen it. So go on and get yourself an education. Get out of here if you must.
Any idea what you want to do, George?
Why, sure, Uncle Billy. I want to build things like skyscrapers, maybe even whole cities. That's been a dream all my life.
Still after that first million before you're 30, right?
No, I'll settle for half that in cash, though.
Well, your Aunt Till and I are sure going to miss you.
I'm going to miss all of you. That's for certain. Hey, you know what? I think I will go down to the school and drop in on Harry's dance.
Have a good time, son.
And you did too. Remember? That was the night you met Mary Hatch. Of course, you had known her all your life. She grew up only 3 or 4 years right behind you, always tagging along until one of you boys noticed her and just sent her on her way. That never discouraged her or any of the other girls. They always had their eyes fixed on you, especially Violet and Mary. While you just hadn't taken the bait until Harry's graduation party. That was the night you danced the Charleston all night long with Mary Hatch. Until someone tripped the lock on the gym floor and everyone fell or jumped into that pool.
Buffalo gals, would you come out tonight? Would you come out tonight? Would you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, would you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon.
Well, hot dog, just like the church choir.
Beautiful.
You should have seen the commotion in that locker room. I had to knock down 3 people just to get the stuff we're wearing. I bet over half your class jumped in that pool.
Well, half the town said it wasn't a good idea to build a gym floor over a swimming pool. I wonder who turned the key.
Probably someone jealous because you chose me to dance with you.
You think? Maybe?
Well, here, let me hold that old wet dress of yours. Hello?
Hello. You look at me as if you don't know me.
Well, I don't.
You pass me in the street almost every day.
Me?
Uh-huh.
That was a little girl named Mary Hatch. That wasn't you.
Do I look as funny as you do?
Well, I guess I'm not the football type, but it's you. You look wonderful. Well, if it wasn't me talking, I'd say you're the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will say it. How old are you anyway?
18.
18. Seems only last year you were 17.
Too young or too old?
Oh, no, just right. Well, your age fits you. Yes, sir, you look a little older without your clothes on. I mean, without a dress on, you look older. I mean, younger. Oh! Mary? Sorry, Mary.
Sir, my train, please.
And focus upon me for a clumsy lout. Your caboose, my lady.
You may kiss my hand.
Hey, Mary.
Buffalo gals, would you come out tonight? Would you come out tonight? Would you come out tonight?
Well, okay then. I'll throw a rock at the old grandpa house.
No, don't. I love that old house.
No, you see? You make a wish and try and break some glass. You gotta be a pretty good shot nowadays, too, with so many windows already broken out.
George, don't, please. It's full of romance, that old place. I'd like to live there one day.
In that old place?
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't live in it if I was a ghost. Now watch, right on the second floor window there.
What'd you wish for, George?
Well, not just one wish. Well, a whole hatful, Mary. I know what I'm gonna do today and tomorrow and the next year and the year after that. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet and I'm gonna go see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I'll go to college and see what they know and then I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build things like airfields. I'm gonna build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm gonna build bridges a mile long. Hey, are you gonna throw a rock? Oh, wow, that was pretty good. What'd you wish for, Mary?
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon.
What'd you wish for when you threw that rock?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, you can tell me.
If I told you, then it might not come true.
What is it you want, Mary? So you want the moon. You just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and bring it down here for you. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'm gonna give you the moon, Mary.
I'll take it. And then what?
Well, then you can swallow it and it all dissolves, see? The moon means you shoot out your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair. Am I talking too much?
Yes, you are!
Who's that?
Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
What?
Oh, you! It's wasted on the wrong people. You're telling me! Just wasted!
Well, hey! Well, Bert, Ernie, come on back here. I'll show you some tricks that'll turn your heads around.
George, your father,
Well, what?
he had a stroke.
Huh? Mary, I'm sorry. I've got to go.
Come on, George.
Well, did you send for a doctor?
The candle's there now.
Mr. Potter?
I'd say your father was the building and loan here in Bedford Falls, George.
I'd agree, Mr. Potter.
But he wasn't a businessman, and that's what killed him. I don't mean any disrespect, George. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town. So, at our next Board of Trustees meeting, I'm going to make a motion.
A motion?
That's right, a motion to dissolve the institution and turn its assets and liabilities over to receivership.
But Mr. Potter...
Take this loan application the board's to act on tomorrow about Ernie Bishop. You know, the fellow who walks around all day and delivers our mail and is usually late because he's always stopping to talk to everybody on his route. Well, anyways, I happen to know that the bank turned down his application. But he came to the building and loan, and we're willing to build in a house worth $5,000. Why?
Well, I handled all that, Mr. Potter. Why, you have all the papers right there. His salary, his insurance, and I can personally vouch for his character.
Oh, he's a friend of yours.
Yes, sir.
So you shoot pool with the manager's son and you get to borrow money? And what does that get the building and loan? A lazy, discontented rabble instead of a fine, thrifty working class. And all because a few starry-eyed dreamers like your father fill their heads with a lot of impossible ideas.
Now, just a minute. Just a minute. Well, now, hold on here, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. Why he ever started this cheap, penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anyone else can say anything against his character. Because his whole life was, why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this institution, he never once thought of himself or saved any money. But he did help a few people out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't that make them better customers? Just remember this. That rabble you're talking about, well, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. And is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? My father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. To you, warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. And in my book, my father died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, young man. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, thanks for stopping by, Mr. Potter. I'll see you at the board meeting.
But you're not on the board.
I hold my father's proxy so I can attend and cast a vote. You know, the way I see things, Mr. Potter, the people of this town need my family's one-horse institution, if only to have somewhere they can go without crawling to you.
Get me out of here. Sentimental hogwash. I'm still going to make my motion, young man, and then we'll see who has the real power in this town.
And you spoke eloquently at the board meeting, and they voted Potter down.
Well, one condition I hadn't banked on.
That you take your father's position. And you did. And you gave all your school money to your brother Harry.
And Harry became a football star. Well, he made second team All-American.
And you, well, you got 4 years older.
Well, there's the old professor now! Old Professor Phi Beta Kappa Bailey, All-American!
Well, if it isn't old George Geographic Explorer Bailey. What, no husky dog, no sled? Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody ever changed around here, you know that.
Oh man, am I glad to see you!
Say, where's Mom?
Oh, she's at home cooking the fatted calf. Oh, come on, let's go!
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hello?
How do you do?
Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh? What?
Well, I wired you that I had a surprise. Here she is! Meet the wife!
Well, what do you know? But wife!
Well, how do you do? Congratulations. What am I doing? Well, what am I doing? Congratulations! Well, come on, Harry. Why didn't you tell somebody? What's a girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Well, he gets you and a job? Well, Harry's cup just runneth over.
George, about that job, Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said that I'd take it, and you've been holding the bag here for 4 years, and I won't let you down, George. I'd like to... Oh, wait a minute, I forgot the bags. I'll be right back.
And it was a surprise to me. that this is the new Mrs. Bailey, my nephew's wife. Well, old friend of the family.
Oh, of course. I heard him speak of you.
And I want to tell you that we are going to throw the biggest party this town has ever seen.
George, George, George. That's all Harry ever talks about.
Ruth, what about this job?
Oh, my father owns a glass factory in Buffalo. He wants to get Harry started in the research business.
Is it a good job?
Yes, very. Not much pay, but a good future, you know? Harry's a genius at research. My father fell in love with him.
You did too.
Nothing.
Hello, Mom.
What you doing? Wishing on the moon?
No. I gave up on that a long time ago. Just getting some air.
Did you know Mary Hatch came back from school?
Uh-huh.
Came back 3 days ago.
Hmm.
Nice girl, Mary.
Hmm.
Kind that will help you find the answers, George. Could you give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on her?
Well, sure I can. Sam Wainwright. Oh yes, Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, how do you know? Did she discuss it with you?
No.
Well, how do you know then?
Well, I have eyes, haven't I? Why, she lights up like a firefly whenever you're around.
Oh.
And besides, Sam Wainwright's way in New York and you're here in Bedford Falls.
No spare in love and war?
Well, I don't know about war.
You know, Mother, I can't see right through you. Right to your back collar button. You're trying to get rid of me, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, what's your hurry? All right, Mother. Old Bailey, building a load, pal, if you insist. I'll go out and find a girl and maybe do a little passionate necking.
George!
Now, if you'll just point me in the right direction. Oh, this direction. Good night, Mrs. Bailey.
Hello, George and Porgy.
Hello, Vi. How's business at the old-fashioned permanent wave shop?
Not a tidal wave yet, but I'm getting some big city mothers in thanks to you. What gives with you?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up down at the library.
Georgie, don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. Yes, I do. What are you doing tonight?
Not a thing.
Are you game by? Let's make a night of it.
I love it, Georgie. What do we do?
Let's go out in the field and take off our shoes and walk through the grass.
Huh?
Then we can go and climb Mount Bedford, up to the falls and smell the pines and watch the sun rise against the peaks. We'll stay up there all night, and the whole town will be talking about it, and there will be a terrific scandal.
Walk in the grass in my bare feet? George, we've gone crazy. And Mount Bedford. Who would want to climb all the way up to the top of Mount Bedford? It's got to be a 10-mile hike at least.
Okay, just forget the whole thing. It was all a crazy idea anyway.
You're telling me. Good night, George.
Well, there you are.
Hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Yes, so I noticed. Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
Paying you a visit. Your mother phoned and said you were on your way over.
Mother told you? Well, how did she know?
Didn't you tell her?
Well, I didn't tell anyone. I just went for a walk and happened to be passing by.
I'll be on the porch, Mother.
All right, dear.
Would you like to come up on the porch and sit down a minute?
Well, maybe for a minute. But I want you to know I didn't tell anyone I was coming over here. When'd you get back?
Tuesday.
Where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right. I just thought you'd go back to New York like Sam and Inky and the rest of them.
Well, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know, I guess I was homesick.
Homesick? For Bedford Falls?
Yes, and for my family and everything. Aren't you gonna come up on the porch? Would you like to sit down?
Maybe for a minute. But I want you to know I didn't tell anyone I was coming over here.
Would you rather leave?
Well, no. I don't want to be rude.
Then come on out. But for the little gals, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight?
What's the matter? Oh, yeah. I better
It
get
was
going.
nice about your brother Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Sure, it was alright.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like Ruth. She's a peach.
Oh. So it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
Well, marriage is alright if it's Harry and Ruth or Sam and you.
Mary? Mary, who's down there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Not a thing!
He's making passionate love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home and don't you leave the house either. Sam Wainwright promised to call you from New York tonight. There he is now. Good night, George.
I really should be going.
No, wait a minute. Hello? Hee-haw, Sam, how are you? Guess who I have with me? George Bailey. George, Sam, he wants to talk with you.
To me?
Hurry, it's long distance.
Hello? Sam?
Yeehaw! Hey there, George Baileyovsky. Fine pal you are. What you trying to do, steal my girl?
What? No. No, nobody's trying to steal your girl. Here's Mary.
No. Wait a minute. Tell Mary to get on the extension. I want to talk to both of you.
He wants you to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
Okay, now we can both hear. We're listening, Sam.
I have something coming up that's going to make us all rich. Now, George, remember the night in Martini's bar? I think you told me you read someplace about making plastics out of soybeans.
What? Oh, yeah. Soybeans, sure.
Well, my dad snapped up the idea. He says he's going to build a factory right outside of Rochester. Now, here's the point. And Mary, you're in on this too. Now, listen, George, have you got any money?
Money? Yeah, well, a little.
I want you to put every cent you've got into our stock, you hear? And George, I may have a job for you, that is, unless you're still married to that broken down billing and loan. This is the biggest thing since radio, and I'm letting you in on the ground floor. Mary, are you still there?
I'm here, Sam.
Will you tell that man I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime? The chance of a lifetime, you hear?
Says it's the chance of a lifetime.
You listen to me. I don't want you plastics. I don't want any ground floors. And I don't want to get married ever to anyone. Do you understand that? I want to do what I want to do. Mary.
Tipped on this. We hope you float away to happy land on the bubbles.
But look at this. Champagne.
Thank you, Ernie.
By the way, where are you two going this here now honeymoon?
Well, where are we going?
Well, take a look at this. There's the kitty, Ernie. Here, go, I'm counting, Mary.
I feel like a bootlegger's wife. Look.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to shoot the works. A whole week in Bermuda. A whole week in New York. The highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, prettiest wife.
That does it. Then what?
Well, then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it. Come here.
I hate to break things up, but there's something funny going on down at the bank. I've never really seen one before, but it has all the earmarks of a run. If you have anything in the bank, folks, you better hurry.
You stay here. I'll be back in a minute, Mary.
George, Let's not stay, please. Let's just go.
I'll be back in a minute, Mary. I promise you. Well, come on now, Uncle Billy. What's the meaning of this? A holiday?
This is what you call a pickle, George, a real pickle.
All right, now what happened? When did it start?
All I know is that they called her load.
When?
About an hour ago, and I had to hand over all her cash.
All of it?
Yes, every cent. We still less than we owe. Holy mackerel! The whole town's gone crazy.
Oh, Mr. Potter. What do we owe this unexpected visit?
George, there's a rumor around town that you're going to close your doors early. Is that true?
Not for another 10 minutes. That's our regular closing time.
I'm glad to hear it. George, are you okay? Do you want me to call the sheriff?
What for?
Well, mobs can get pretty ugly, you know.
I assure you, Mr. Potter, all of our customers are very polite.
I'm sure. George, I'm going all out to help in this crisis. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close down for a week, and then they'll reopen.
You've taken over the bank?
I may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just bring your shares over to the bank, and I will pay 50 cents on the dollar.
Well, I'm sure that won't be necessary, Mr. Potter. We'll take care of all of our customers right here.
Well, just make sure you don't close your doors before 6 p.m. or they'll never reopen. Ladies, gentlemen, remember, 50 cents on the dollar.
Well, you never miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one. Well, all right now, everyone, quiet. You heard Mr. Potter. You will all get your money. The bank will reopen in a week.
But I've got money here, George, and I'll take it now.
Oh, Miss Andrews, you're thinking of this place all wrong. As if I had the money back in the safe. Your money is not here. Your money's in the Grange's house, right next to yours. In Kennedy's house and in Mrs. Macklin's house. Why, you're loaning them the money to build, and then they'll pay it back to you as best they can. Well, now what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I've got $242 in here, George Bailey, and $242 isn't gonna break anybody.
Okay, Miss Andrews, okay. Here, you sign this. You'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now, that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares. Well, come on, Miss Andrews, please. Miss Andrews, just give us 60 days on this.
Are you gonna go to Potter's? It's better to get half than nothing.
Well, now everyone, listen to me. Listen to me. Mr. Potter gets a hold of this building and loan. There will never be another decent house built in this town. He's already got charge of the bank. He's got the bus lines. He's got the department stores. And now he's after us. Why? Well, because we're cutting in on his business, that's why. Because he wants to keep all of you living in his slums and paying the kind of rent that he decides. Well, we can't let him. We can get through this, but we have to stick together. We gotta have faith in each other.
My husband hasn't worked in over a year. I need money.
How will we live until the bank reopens?
We've got doctor bills to pay.
I need money, George. I can't feed my kids on faith.
How much do you need?
Hey, that's right. I've got $2,000. Well, here's $2,000. This will tide us over until the bank reopens. Okay, Miss Andrews, how much do you want?
$242.
Come on, Miss Andrews, please. Just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Okay, Miss Andrews, okay. Here.
That'll close my account.
Your account's still here. That's a loan. Okay, fine. Now, Ernie, how much do you want?
I've got $300 here, George.
Please, Ernie, just enough to get you through till the bank reopens. How much do you need?
I suppose $20.
$20! Now you're talking. Here. Fine, thanks, Ernie. Okay, Mrs. Thompson, how much do you want?
It's your own money, George.
Well, never mind about that. How much do you want?
I can get a loan on 20 just fine.
$20. Excellent.
And I'll sign a paper.
No, you don't have to sign anything. I know you'll pay it back as best you can. That's okay. Good. Mrs. Martini, how much do you want?
Could we have $17.50?
Well, $17.50! Well, bless your heart. Of course you can have it. You got 50 cents? You know what? You take over. You take over.
I think we're gonna make it, George. I really think we're going to make it.
So do I. So do I. 4, 5, 6.
Bingo! We made it, George! We made it! We've got $2
Well,
left!
I'd say we're a couple of financial wizards.
Those Rockefellers.
Open the safe for these great big important simoleons.
Save them for seed.
Ooh! Here. Here's to Papa Dollar and to Mama Dollar. And if you want the old building and loan to stay in business, you better have a family real quick.
I wish they were rabbits.
That's great, Aunt Tilly. You hear that, Uncle Billy? Rabbits. Here's to the rabbits.
Rabbits!
Wait a minute. Champagne? Champagne, wait! Wedding! Holy mackerel! I'm married! I'm married! Mary, where's Mary? Mary! Hello, Mrs. Bailey.
Hello, Mr. Bailey. How's business?
Booming.
Well, at least you have a place to come home to. Some of the windows are broken, and the roof leaks in a place or two, but the structure's sound, and there isn't a crack in the foundation.
What are you talking about?
32 Sycamore.
32 Sycamore. Well, that's the old Granville place.
Remember the night we broke the windows? Well, that's what I wished for, and I've been saving ever since. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. We've only been married an hour.
1 hour, 29 minutes, and 40 some odd seconds to be exact. Soon enough to be celebrating, I would say. Wouldn't you?
Darling, you're wonderful.
Martini, you rented a new house?
Hey, you know what she said, Mr. Bailey?
What's that, Mr. Martin?
I own the house! Me, Stephanie Martini, I own my own house! No longer do we have to live like Mrs. Potter's Field. Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Thank you!
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home!
Bread, that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle!
Can't dismiss this man's heart anymore, Mr. Potter. It's come deeper and deeper into your rental profits.
The Bailey family has been a boil on my neck long enough.
Mr. Bailey does provide, sir.
Good. Tell him to wait. Go on.
As you know, he's built up a whole subdivision out next to the cemetery. Dozens and dozens of the prettiest little homes you ever saw. I'm thinking seriously of purchasing one myself.
Don't you dare.
The point is, Mr. Potter, 90% of the residents used to pay rent to you. Now, if I were you, Mr.
But
Potter...
you are not me.
As I say, I'm just a lonely vacancy. One day, if you're not...
I'm a busy man, Miss Carter. I don't have time for idle conjecture. Good day. Cut my revenue, will you? Well, I'll show you a trick or two, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, sir?
Send Mr. Bailey in.
Right away, sir. Mr. Bailey, Mr. Potter will see you now.
Thank you.
Good morning, George. So good to see you again.
Mr. Potter, this is quite the unusual request.
What's that?
You're calling to ask me to pay you a visit.
I don't see what's so unusual about it. I just thought the two of us should get better acquainted. Here, have a cigar.
Thank you, sir. This is quite the cigar.
You like it? I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later, Mr. Potter, but just why exactly did you ask me to come today?
Now that's what I like so much about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me. But I don't like them either, so that makes it clear. You know just as well as I do that I run practically everything in this town, but the Bailey built it alone. You also know that for a number of years I've tried to take control of it, or kill it, but I haven't been able to do so. You have been stopping me. In fact, you have beaten me, George. And as anyone in this county can say, that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You and I were the only ones who kept our heads. You saved the building alone, and I saved all the rest.
Yes. Well, those people say you stole all the rest.
The envious ones say that, George. The suckers. Now, I've stated my side, quite frankly. Let's look at yours. Young man, age 27, 28, married, making, say, 40 a week?
45.
45, after which, supporting your wife and your brother and paying your bills, you're able to keep, say, 10 if you skip. Now, a child or two comes along and you won't be able to save the 10. Now, if this young man of 28 were a common, ordinary uncle, I would say he was doing quite well. But George Bailey is not a common, ordinary uncle. He is an intelligent, smart, ambitious young man who hates his job, who hates the building alone, almost as much as I do. A young man who's been dying to get out of this town ever since he was born. A young man, the smartest one of the crowd, mind you. A young man who has to sit by and watch his friends go places. Meanwhile, he's trapped into frittering his life like playing nursemaid to lots of garlic eaters. Now, do I paint a correct picture, or do I exaggerate?
Now, what's your point here, Mr. Potter?
My point is, George, I want to hire you.
Hire me?
I want you to manage my affairs, run my properties. George, I'll start you out at $20,000 a year.
For $20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, a couple of business trips to New York a year, maybe even once in a while to Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Well, would I? Well, you're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? You know, this is me, right? You remember me, George Bailey?
Ah, yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, as long as he has the brains enough to climb aboard.
Well, what about building alone?
Oh, confound it, man. Are you afraid of success? I'm offering you a 3-year contract starting out at $20,000 a year. Now, is it a deal, or isn't it?
Well, Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but you think you could maybe give me 24 hours to think it over?
Sure. You go on home and talk it over with your wife.
I'd like to do that.
Meanwhile, I'll draw up the papers.
Okay, Mr. Potter.
Okay, George.
All right, sir. No. Well, now wait a minute here. I don't have to talk to anybody, and I don't need 24 hours either. I know the answer right now, and the answer is no. No! Well, doggone it! You sit around here and you spin your little webs and think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. What? When the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing more than a scurvy little spire, you. And that goes for you. And it goes for you too.
Hi.
Hi. gosh. Why did you ever marry a guy like me?
To keep from being an old maid.
Could have married Sam Wainwright or anybody else in town.
Well, I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
I didn't even have a honeymoon. I promise you. Wait, you what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
In a manner of speaking.
Well, what is it? A boy or a girl? You were on top of the world, then, George. You couldn't have been happier. Well, that was nearly 10 years ago. We've gone through a war since then. Yeah, Mary had her child, a boy, and then another, a girl. Day after day, she worked away, remaking the old Granville house into a home. And night after night, you came home late from the office. Old Potter was bearing down. Ma Bailey and Mrs. Hatch, well, they joined the Red Cross and sewed. Sam Wainwright made a fortune in plastic hood covers for planes. Mary, well, she had 2 more children and still found time to run the USO. Potter became head of the draft board. Gower and Uncle Billy, they sold war bonds. And Bert got injured in North Africa. He got the Silver Star, and Ernie was there to help him. And you, well, on account of your ear, you fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. But Harry topped them all. He shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers. And today, he's being decorated with the Congressional Medal of Honor. President decorates Harry Bailey. That was the headline in this morning's newspaper.
Extra, read all about it. Local boy wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Mr. Harry Bailey to be decorated by President.
That's right, George. Today, about 10 a.m., day before Christmas, that's when it all started, right? You were out buying a Christmas wreath. Billy, Uncle Billy, he was on his way to the bank.
Here, give me one of those. Another one of those Bailey boys again.
Well, good morning, Mr. Potter.
What's the news?
Well, Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. And that couldn't be one of the Bailey boys now, could it? You just can't keep those Bailey boys down now, can you, Mr. Potter?
And how does Slacker George feel about that?
Very jealous. Oh yes, very jealous. In fact, Slacker George would have gotten 2 of those medals if he'd been allowed to go.
I know he has a bad ear.
That's right. Some people like George have to stay home. Not every hero is a journey in Japan.
Give me back my paper. Go buy one of your own if you're gonna drool all over it. Hey, wait a minute. Hey! Oh, why not? Yes, why not? Hurry, take me straight to the bank.
Well, extra! Read all about it!
George, it's Harry now, long distance from Washington.
Harry, what do you know about that?
He reversed the charges. It's okay, isn't it?
Well, is it okay for a hero? Here. Hello, Harry? Oh, you 7 cons of a son of a gun. Well, congratulations. Well, how's Mother standing it? Well, she did? Mother had lunch with the president's wife.
Wait till Bill hears about this. What did they have to eat?
What'd they have to eat, Harry? Oh, you should see what they're cooking up for you here in town. Oh, are they? The Navy's flying Mother home this afternoon.
In a plane?
Oh, what's that? Oh, Uncle Billy. Has Uncle Billy come in yet?
No, he stopped by the bank first.
He's not here right now, Harry. Oh, but look.
George?
Now tell me about it.
George, that woman's here again.
Well, what woman?
The bank examiner.
Harry, could you talk to Aunt Tilly again for a minute? I'll be right back.
George, can I see you for a second?
Why, of course you can, Violet. Come into my office. I'll be right there. Hello, Miss...
Carter, bank examiner.
Oh, Miss Carter. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we're all excited around here. My brother just won the Congressional Medal of Honor. The president just decorated him.
Well, I guess they do those things. I trust you had a good year.
Good cheer. Well, between you and me, Miss Carter, we're broke.
Very funny.
Well, come into the office, Miss Carter.
Although, I shouldn't wonder when you okay reverse charges on personal long-distance calls.
George, shall I hang up?
Well, no. He wants to talk to Uncle Bill. You just hold on.
Now, if you cooperate, Mr. Bailey, I'd like to finish with you by tonight. I want to spend Christmas in Elmira with my sister and her family.
I don't blame you at all, Miss Carter. Just step right into the office. Uncle Billy has it all laid out for you.
Hurry, Billy, hurry! Long distance, Washington!
Now I can't talk to anyone right now.
But it's Harry, your nephew. Here's your Uncle Billy, Harry.
Hello. Yes, everything is fine. Yes?
Oh, another Mr. Bailey. You'll do just fine. Possibly better. May I see you in here for a moment? I have some questions.
Why, of course I'll be there in one moment. Where's George?
In his office with Violet Peterson.
To see him as soon as it is out.
It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here.
No, George, no.
Here now, you said you were broke, didn't you?
I know, but...
Well, what are you going to do? Hawk your clothes in that hat? You want to walk to New York? You know, guy, they charge the same up there for meals and rent just as they do here in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a loan. That's my business, building a loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
You say hello to New York for me.
Yeah, sure I will.
And let's hear from you, too. What's the matter? Merry Christmas, Vi.
Mr. Bailey, there seems to be a problem here.
Problem? How do you mean?
George, can I see you for a moment?
Sure you can, Uncle Billy. What is it? What?
Is that your bag?
Well, no.
Then you did hear me?
I'm afraid so. How much? That much? Well, are you sure? Did you buy anything?
Not even a stick of gum.
Well, are you sure you had the money with you?
Yes, I was counting it. See?
You think? Uncle Billy, we gotta find that money.
So good to you, George.
No, listen to me. Are there any secret hiding places in your house? Anywhere you could have put it. Anywhere you could have placed the money.
Oh, nothing like that.
Well, now come on. Listen to me. Listen to me. Think.
I am thinking, George. I am, and I can't think anymore. It hurts.
Well, now listen to me. You silly, stupid old fool. Where is the money? Do you know what this means? It means scandal and bankruptcy and prison.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's exactly what this means. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
George.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Daddy.
How do you like it? That's you. Did you bring the wreath?
Daddy, did you bring the Christmas wreath?
Wreath? What wreath?
The Christmas wreath for the window.
Left at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, I just started.
Oh, where's your coat and hat?
Left them at the office.
George, what's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade, the banquet. Your mother's so excited.
Well, must she keep playing that?
She's practicing for the party tonight, Daddy.
Daddy, Mommy said you can stay up till midnight to sing Christmas carols.
You can stay up too, Daddy.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Is it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Better hurry and shave, George. The families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want the families over here.
Excuse me.
Well, excuse you for what?
I vote.
All right, dear.
you?
Oh, she got a cold. Caught it coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize, and she didn't want to crush it, so she did button up her coat. Go to bed, darling.
I want to get my flower a drink.
What do you have, Zuzu? Sore throat or what?
Just a cold. The doctor says it's nothing serious.
The doctor? You had the doctor over here.
Yes, I called him right away. He says it's nothing to worry about.
Well, are you running a temperature, little one?
I don't think so.
Just a teensy one, 99.6. She'll be all right.
Well, you better hurry upstairs, Zuzu. This floor is cold.
I want to get my flower a drink.
Here, give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
But Daddy taste it.
All right. Daddy will fix the flower for you. There. See, good as new. Now, can you do something for me?
What?
You go upstairs and try and get some sleep. What's this old house? It's a wonder we don't all have pneumonia, this drafty old part. We might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to stay in this crummy town anyway?
George, what's wrong?
Well, what's wrong? Look around you, everything's wrong. Does this look like a happy family to you? Why do we have to have all these kids?
How do you spell frankincense?
Well, how would I know? Ask your mother.
Telephone!
I'll get it. Hello, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. I'm sure she'll be all right. The doctor says she should be out of bed in time to have her Christmas dinner.
Is that Suzu's teacher?
Yes.
Well, here, let me speak to her. Hello? Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. I'm Suzu's father. Well, say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? Send her home like that half naked. Do you know she'll probably end up with pneumonia on account of you?
George!
Is this the kind of thing we pay taxes for, to have teachers like you? Silly, stupid, careless people who send their kids home without any clothes on? You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids. Maybe they don't have any decent clothes. Stupid woman.
Mrs. Welch, I want to apologize. Hello? Hello? She hung up.
Pick her up. I'll get it. Hello? Oh, Mr. Welch, I'm glad you called. Gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife. George! Can you back out and let me handle this? Okay, Mr. Welch, sure. Yeah, sure, anytime you think you're man enough. Hello? Hello? He hung up.
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
Well, how would I know? What do I look like to you, a dictionary? Hey, Tommy, can you knock out that noise, please? Just stop it! And Janie, how did you learn that silly, stupid piano piece yet? You played it over and over and over again. Now stop it, just stop it! Mary, I'm sorry. Pete, I owe you an apology too. Janie, if you go on to practice, I didn't mean it. Pete, what do you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
What's the matter with you all? Janie, go on. I told you to practice. Well, now go on, play!
Oh, Daddy! Why must you torture the children? Why don't you just...
Mary, please. No.
Bedford 247, please.
Mommy, is Daddy in trouble? Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie, it's very hard.
Me too.
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy.
I'm in trouble, Mr. Potter. I need help. There's some sort of an accident. My company's short in their account. The bank examiner's up there today. I've got to raise $8,000 immediately.
So that's what the reporters wanted to speak to you about.
The reporters?
Oh yes, they called me up from your building and loan. Oh, there's a man from the DA's office there too. He's looking for you.
You've got to help me, please, Mr. Potter. Help me, would you please? Well, can't you see what it means to my family? I'll pay you any sort of a bonus on the loan, any interest. Why, you still aren't the building in law.
George, is it possible there's a slight discrepancy in the books?
No, sir. Nothing's wrong with the books. Just misplaced $8,000. I can't find it anywhere.
You've misplaced $8,000?
Yes, sir.
Have you notified the police?
Well, no, sir. I don't want that kind of publicity. Harry's homecoming is tomorrow.
They'll believe that one. What have you been doing, George? Playing the market with the company's money?
Well, no, sir. No, honest, I haven't.
Well, what is it then? A woman? You know, it's all over town that you pay money to buy the Peterson.
What?
Not that it makes any difference to me, George, but why did you come to me? Why don't you go to Sam Wainwright and ask him for the money?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
Well, what about all your other friends?
I don't have that kind of money, Mr. Potter. You know that. You're the only one in town who can help me.
I see. I've suddenly become quite important. Well, what kind of security would I have, George? Have you any stocks?
No, sir.
Bonds? Real estate? Collateral of any kind?
Well, I do have some life insurance, $15,000 policy.
Yes, and how much is your equity in it?
$500.
Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were gonna go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated young man? A miserable little clerk crawling in here on his hands and knees and begging for help. No security, no stocks, nothing. But a miserable little $500 equity in a life insurance policy. You're worth more dead than alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them to let you have $8,000? I'll tell you why. Because they'd run you out of town on a rail. But I'll tell you what I am going to do for you, George. Since the state examiner is still here, as a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm going to swear out a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds, manipulation, malfeasance.
No!
Go ahead and run, George. You can't hide in a little town like this.
Rusty, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day. To save us all from Satan's power, we have gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
God, you've got to help me out here.
George Bailey, is that you? Come on in and join us.
Not tonight, Mr. Martini.
Wait a minute. Did he just call you George Bailey?
That's right. This is Mr. George Bailey, brother of the young man who just won the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get it worse. She cried for over an hour and she wouldn't even come out with us tonight.
That's enough, Mr. Wells, that's enough!
Isn't it enough she slaves to teach your stupid kids how to read and write? You have to fall her around. Stop to hell with it. Going home.
Oh, George, are you all right?
What's that?
Don't worry, he's gone. His name is Welch. He doesn't know how to come to my place anymore.
It's what I could for praying.
Are you all right, George?
Sure. Want me to take you home? No, please, Arnie, I'll be fine. It's my life insurance policy. What? Just leave me alone, Arnie. Please, just leave me alone.
Come on, everybody. This is Christmas Eve. We're supposed to be spreading good cheer.
Yes, aren't we all going to sing?
Of course we are. Come on, everybody. God rest ye merry gentlemen. You coming?
I'll be there in a minute.
Okay.
Are you sure you're going to be all right, George? I'm sure, Arnie. Thank you. Well then, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. God, dear Father in heaven, I know I'm not a brave man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, just show me the way, God. I'm at the end of my rope. Please, God, just show me the way. If it hadn't been for me, maybe I know it would be a lot better off. My wife, my kids, all my friends.
You haven't ruined their lives, George. And besides, it wasn't your fault.
The president of the company, I'm the one to be held responsible. As Mr. Potter will tell you.
And you think killing yourself will make everybody feel happier?
I don't know. I suppose it would have been better if I'd never been born at all.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
Now look, you mustn't say that. Wait a minute. That's an idea. What do you think? Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, you get your wish. You've never been born. You don't have to make that big of a fuss about it.
What did you say?
You've never been born. You don't exist. You haven't a care in the world. No worries, no obligations, no $8,000 to get, no Potter with the police.
Well, say something else in this ear.
Well, sure, you can hear out of it.
That's the doggonedest thing. I've been able to hear out of this ear since I was a kid. Now, what's going on here?
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
That's my name. These are my boys. Do you want some?
Mr. Martini, don't you recognize me?
Hey, Giuseppe, he knows your name. Now we have to sing.
Where's your wife? Where's Mrs. Martini?
Shh. They're at home. They're all at home. And that's what makes it Merry Christmas, ladies and gents.
Yeah! Oh, I saw her just a few hours ago. There were lots of women, too.
Where? What are you talking about? You're not gonna snitch on us, are you?
Hey, I know you. Well, you hit me just a minute ago.
I did? Did you hear that? I already hit him. Did it hurt? Here. Let me try and get
Oh, come on! That sucker will enforce something we are.
Look out. Here comes that panhandler.
Come on.
let me in first. I promise.
It's me, George Bailey. Well, don't you remember me?
Hey! Hey! I tell you, I don't think messing around with that guy.
In the corner drugstore. I used to work for you when I was a kid. You've got to remember.
Now I know I don't like you. That one had spent 20 years in jail for poisoning a kid.
Hey, that's right. And if you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself!
Out you go! Oh, wait a minute!
You see, George, this is all because you weren't there to stop Gower from putting the...
Well, what do you mean I wasn't there? I remember it distinctly. Now look, who are you?
I'm your guardian angel. I've been trying to tell you.
I don't get it.
This is what you wanted. It's what you asked for. It's all because you were never born.
Not born?
That's right.
I wasn't born, then who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
No identity? No. My name is George Bailey. I was born July 12, 1907, right here in Bedford Falls.
There is no George Bailey. You have no cards, no papers, no driver's license, no insurance policy. And they're not there either.
What?
Zuzu's petals. You see, George, you've been given a wonderful gift. A chance to see what the world would be like without you.
No, this is some sort of weird dream I'm having. I'm going home.
Home? What home? This is not Bedford Falls anymore. It's Pottersville.
Oh, Violet!
That's what they call me.
I'm glad to see you.
Well, am I glad to see you too? New in town? Who gave you my name?
George.
Of course you are. If anyone asks me, I've never seen or heard of you before.
But you have. We went to high school together.
I don't think so, good looking, but I sure wish we had.
Violet, you've got to remember.
Well, I've got all night. You want to tell me about it?
Your name is Violet Peterson. You were born in 1911 here in Bedford Falls, and you graduated right here from the local high school.
Whoa! What are you, some sort of private eye? I should have known. Don't you guys ever give it a rest? It's Christmas Eve, for God's sake.
Well, no, Violet, you don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. Well, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That's my motto, so give it a rest and get out of here.
No, Violet, please.
Or I'll make a telephone call, George, or whatever your name is, and I don't think you want me to do that. Merry Christmas.
Bob Bailey's boarding house? What's going on here?
Well?
Mom! Mom, it's me, George! I'm for sure you remember me.
Who's George? What do you want? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Well, no, please. I'm sorry, I'm lost and I need a place to sort things out. Please let me in.
I told you I've got no vacancy. Besides, I don't let in strangers unless they're referred by someone. Try over on Maple Street, 163 Maple.
Uncle Billy! I know your brother-in-law, Billy.
How do you know him?
Have you seen him around?
When? When did you see him around?
Today. Over at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the state asylum for over 5 years, ever since he lost his business.
Harry! Harry, your son, Harry!
My only son broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
Well, no! He went to war! He won the Congressional Medal of Honor! Even the president decorated him! He's a hero when he's coming home tomorrow!
I'm going to call the police!
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life, like just so many others. And when he isn't there, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?
Harry saved the lives of every man on that transport. It was headlines in all the newspapers.
Every man on that transport died because Harry wasn't there to save them. Because you're not there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away?
Clarence?
Yes, George?
Where's Mary?
Well, I don't think...
If you know where she is, then tell me.
You're not gonna...
Well, please tell me where she is. Well, is she alive?
Yes, she's alive, but she's not the Mary you know. She's an old maid now.
Mary? Mary, Mary.
Who are you? What do you want?
Oh, Mary, Mary, it's me. Please, Mary, don't do this to me. Oh, what's happened to us?
I don't know you. Let me go.
Mary, it's me. Oh, no, Mary. You've got to help me. Please help me. What happened to our kids?
I don't know what you're talking
Mary,
about.
look at me. Look at me. Look at me. It's me. It's me, George. Mary, please. Oh, Mary. Mary, you got to help me. Please, Mary.
No, leave me alone. Don't touch me, please. I'll scream.
Mary. Mary. Oh, Mary. Mary. No. Clarence! Clarence, please! Oh, God. Please. Please help me. Help me. Give me back. Give me back. I don't care what happens to me. Just give me back to my wife and kids. Please, God. Please, God, I want to live again. God. God, I want to live again.
Hey, George. George, are you all right?
I didn't do anything to her. I swear.
What are you talking about, George? What in the Sam Hill are you yelling for?
Oh, don't. Wait, Bert, you know me?
Know you? What are you talking about? I've been looking all over town. Half the town is out looking for you.
Susan's ghost. Why they're here? They're here! Well, what do you know about that? Well, Merry Christmas, Bert! Mary! Mary, where's Mary?
Yeah, Mary called. So did your Uncle Billy and Mr. Martini. So what's going on, George?
Well, what's going on? Well, what? Look around you, Bert. It's breathing, it's moving, it's alive! Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls! Merry Christmas, Bert.
I think I better take you home.
Well, no, Bert, I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine. Mary? Mary! Mary! Oh, hello, Miss Thank you, Sandra.
Mr. Bailey, you have a deficit we must talk about.
Oh, I know! Isn't it wonderful? Merry Christmas! Oh, Mary! Mary! Mary, where's Mary? Mary! Mary! Oh, look at this wonderful tracty old house! Oh, Mary! Mary, where's Mary? Mary! Mary!
George, I got a little paper here.
I bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't it great? Merry Christmas! Oh, Mary! Oh, Mary! Mary, where's Mary? Mary! Mary!
Merry Christmas, Daddy!
Oh, you wonderful kids! Oh, I can just eat you up. What's your mother?
We have a clear for you with Uncle Billy.
George, darling! Oh, hello.
Hallelujah!
George, where have you been?
Mary, you have no idea what happened.
Oh, George! Come on now. Stand over here right by the tree and don't move. They're coming, George. I hear them. It's a miracle. A miracle. Uncle Billy, Mary, to anybody in here.
Isn't it wonderful, George? Mary did it. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. You've never seen anything like this.
What's this, George? They're run bank?
Merry Christmas, George.
Class is yours, George. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
I never had all my church house, George.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas.
I'm not going to go anywhere, George. I've changed my mind.
Now, quiet, everybody, quiet. Now, this is from London. Mr. Gower cables need cash. Stop. My office was instructed to advance up $25,000. Stop. Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
Herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful
George! Harry!
Well, it looks like I got here just in time. Anybody got any wine? Champagne? I'd like to make a toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, man.
Oh, I almost forgot. Some crazy old man handed me this at the airport. Made me promise I'd give it to you personally.
Tom Sawyer. He would give you a beat-up copy of Tom Sawyer.
Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence. Oh, a Christmas present. A very dear friend of mine. Just like all of you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, George.
Listen, Daddy.
What's that, darling?
Teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
Aww. That's right, that's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot